All right. Welcome to Dorsey's Resource, everybody. I'm back. Briefly, I just wanted to give all my subscribers a update. Briefly, thank you. This is going to be a brief update. This is also an open forum discussion, Q&A. Depends on how many people we get into the chat. Last time I didn't get that many. Of course, this is a Monday night, school night, so I understand some people have to work, but if you're on the West Coast, you also have the midterm elections going on, a big day. We're going into, we actually just went into Tuesday, so I just want to give you guys a quick update. First of all, I want to let my subscribers know I appreciate all of you all. Thank you all who do follow me, who continue to follow me out there. Much love to you. Greatly appreciated at Dorsey's Resource. I wanted to let you guys know I removed the videos, 4 videos. They were main videos that I did about the Pastor Tony King seminar because I can't go into all the details, but I at least needed to let you guys know. But he did resurface. Some of you all that know me personally already know that. Some of you all that follow me, I can't go into some of the specifics, of course, but I had to let you guys know and to let them know, the powers that be, because I got a chance to speak to him recently, and I haven't done a video in a while. I was kind of like in shock of some things that are getting ready to take place down the line. I don't know all the details. I'm not that, privy to high up to certain types of information. And I just wanted to give you guys a heads up. I may even be removing more videos. This is my own self-censoring. This is not YouTube. This is not any outside forces. There's a reason why I went public. A friend of mine some years ago encouraged me to go public. I felt, at the time I was frustrated with some things that were going on, what was taking place, like as we were waiting, what happened back in 2013 when they pushed the price of silver from over $30 an ounce down to where it's been hovering around lately, and that may change sometime soon. I don't have any predictions, forecasts, because I don't control the market, but it is manipulated. That is a fact. The commodities market, it's what it's referred to as. So I was frustrated, so I decided to do a YouTube channel. I do make money off the AdSense. I don't have a Patreon account. I never asked for donations through PayPal like some people and some of the other Cash App services. Had I done those things, I probably would have been able to make a lot more, but it's not, about the money. I had a friend of mine who commended me about that as well. He said I could have, made a lot more, but I felt at the same time, I didn't want to try to teach something to people that I didn't have all the information with how to dealing with redemption stuff. I did want to provide credibility. The reason I did start the YouTube channel and certain topics, not just redemption, but some of the other topics that I've done, I wanted to break some of the stereotypes and rumors and myths that were out there, like similar to Mythbusters. I wanted to clarify there was some things, I can guarantee you, some things that I discussed in the past, in my opinion, was credible. I had evidence to back that up. In most cases, if I'm wrong, I will admit that I'm wrong. I actually did that before. I'm not one of those narcissistic people where I have to be right 100% of the time. I'll come back and I can name a couple things that I had to correct, actually, where later on down I had some misinformation about. I will give an update, but I just want to let my subscribers know I'm still here. I'm not sure what I'm going to do down the line. I've got to see if I've got to get an okay approval from the powers that be, but I don't want it to be a conflict of interest. If I have to transition to the private sector or sign confidentiality agreements, things of that nature, that means more than likely I wouldn't even be able to go on some of the other social media sites, such as Minds or Real.video, which became Brighteon.com. Gab was shut down. I don't know if Gab.ai is coming back because of that. Some things taking place. I think it's politically motivated, though, in my opinion. or whatnot, because that was dealing with that guy that did what he did to that synagogue or whatever. He was also on Facebook, Twitter, and he had an Instagram account as well, but they just specifically wanted to go after Gab, and you guys know what's going on with that censorship I won't get into. But if I have to sign, it's not that I'm selling out or nothing like that. It's just I don't want it to be a conflict of interest to have to do with you know, some things that I was already part of before I even started the YouTube. So this is why it's not like I'm a bandwagon hopper or I'm selling out. I just wanted to be one of the few people to come out and provide clarification with some things that I felt was legitimate, that dealt with a lot of misinformation out there, like certain individual I was going to talk about that goes by, I'm going to mention the YouTube channel Virgo Triad. I think that, in my opinion, no, she put out information because Winston Shrout recently got locked up, some other people. That doesn't mean that the information in the redemption movement wasn't true or that it didn't work. I can tell you for sure there was things that changed. One of the investigative journalists from years ago, his name was Barton Butts, and he went to jail too, from what I understand. I don't know, I can't remember if he got out sometime in 07, but what these guys sometimes started doing, they started testing the waters like guinea pigs, and they went outside of those bounds that was outside of the law, and unfortunately that's what got some of these patriot gurus in trouble. But to give them credit, they helped set the foundation that other gurus who did become successful, the few down the line, actually studied off of, and then some of them may have gotten information from elites high up in the ruling class that have like the secret cheat sheet. There is a ruling class behind the scenes. This is a fact. It's like they have the playbook. If you've ever played sports or football, you know when specific teams, coaches have a schematic, have a playbook, they have strategies that they run. As I mentioned before, you can look up Pastor Lindsey Williams videos. His information is public on YouTube. There's a DVD called Secrets of the Elite. A friend of mine told me about it some years ago when I inquired, and he mentioned in this, just to give you guys a tidbit, that you have people of elite families where they're taught by their parents. They're sent to private schools by invitation only. They study out of encyclopedias and things of that nature. By the way, just to kind of give you guys an idea that this is really real. This is not fact. This is not made up in terms of that. So I just wanted to provide credibility. But if you're in the public too, by the way, and you feel like this information is too hard, this is not for the weak, what they say, weak-hearted. This is, you have to have, you have to use discernment. You have to have tenacity. But Virgo Triad, I felt, in my opinion, she actually was coming at me indirectly from the TDA movement last year, I want to say. So it's not like I'm just wasn't bringing her up. But in my opinion, I asked a friend of mine, why would she choose that name? And I want to say she's actually using strategies from the redemption movement by being private, shielding herself. That's dealing with private citizen, what some people call sovereign citizens. She's using the same tactics by not revealing her identity, by being private. That's what so-called sovereign citizens or private people do. And I asked a friend of mine, what does Virgo Triad mean? Because she started attacking certain people like Money Boy out there when he was with Midwest for the drink, and other people. She's doxing people. She's claiming this information isn't real. I actually attended this event years ago. I'm not going to say the name because I removed the videos already. But I'm telling you, this event was real. And I wanted to say she's debunked clearly. There, you all who know me personally have seen the emails where I've sent you guys evidence, paperwork. And Virgo Triad, I'm going to mention, it's been a minute. I've been waiting to come at her, but she was stealing content and stealing some of my lingo too around October of last year when the TDA movement came out. And because people were getting reversals and stuff, didn't mean that it's real. Confirmation that I got the Federal Reserve Bank, that code R34, they're blocking those transactions. By the way, what I figured out, you have to be at a certain type of status or whatever. And no, I don't do private consultations, so don't email me, don't inbox me. I'm just going over what I researched. There's people that know me personally that already know this, that know I'm credible. I've got documents. I've already went over a lot of this information. It's meticulous. Too, by the way, this is also not a silver bullet, and this is not a one-size-fits-all. But I'm going to set the record straight with Virgo Triad and the agent that she is, and all these other people who claim to be part of Snoops.com and fact check. A lot of you guys are funded by George Soros or your deep cover government agents. And this is a fact. You need to come out, and you're in the closet Clinton supporters. What's up, Money Boy Films? What's good? I saw your video briefly the other day about, sorry to hear about your cousin, that situation. That's messed up where you were at, by the way. Just to let you know, I pay attention out there. I've been low-key for a while. So many different incidences that happen, but big shout out to you. Thank you for joining. But I just wanted to set the record straight, who Virgo Triad and what I think the name. So I asked a friend of mine, and a friend of mine told me, you're welcome, appreciate it, Money Boy. A friend of mine said this Virgo Triad, this name Triad is the name of, like, that deals with three. You know, of course, triune beings that deal with three, like in religion, you have God the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. But Virgo, he explained, was associated with virginity or feminism. I'm leading to something. So triple virgin. So he was explaining to me that, because I'm gonna ask that some feminists wear logos or whatever to describe who they are or what they're part of or whatever. And Triad is also the name of an Asian mafia. Like you have the Yakuza, similar, like over here you have the Bloods and Crips. United States, you got the Gangster Disciples. Well, in the eastern part of the world, the Asians, you have the Yakuza are the Japanese mafia, and the Triads are the Chinese mafia. So she's saying, I don't know if she could be mixed, but it could stand for triple virgin. That she's emphasizing her virginity, and it's associated with that. And feminists are part of the grievance industry. When I looked at her page, she took down the one photo that she did have or whatever to show you how she's trying to hide, because somebody who's credible like myself, I'm showing my face. I'm not hiding behind no account, not showing my face at all. You guys can see me. I've done screen capture videos, but you guys know who I am. You see me. But these people, a lot of times, they're not as credible. So I challenge her, if she's really legit, show her face, who she is, but she's not willing to do that. And to show you too, she act like when she first came out, she was concerned that people were getting these so-called reversals dealing with the TDA movement. This video is open forum, but I've been willing to get this off my chest for a while. By the way, I've been meaning, actually. So you guys are welcome to join in if you guys have any questions or want to address anything. But I just wanted to clarify who I think Virgo Triad is. Definitely an agent. She is an instigator. She's not for the upliftment of humanity or people who are trying to learn this redemption education. This is why certain people who do have the skill sets, who are in the know, that teach this type of information, hold back or refrain from sharing it. Because I was explaining to a friend of mine earlier yesterday, what people do is they grasp a hold of the little bit of information, and because the powers that be at the top, they don't want everybody to have it. I'm gonna be straight up with you. They do not want people knowing this information. So what they do is they've changed processes, which has already happened. They'll make it more difficult, harder. And then when you have people like Virgo Triad doxing people, for example, and spewing lies. I had a subscriber that contacted me. He even agreed, down from Mississippi. This is true. Big shout out to Duncan, by the way, that reached out to me. He even said she's a liar. Noticed it. And then we never met each other before, but he sees the BS. And this is real news. This is not no fake news or Snoops.com and fact check. Snoops.com and fact check were actually created to refute the truth, by the way. But what I'm going over, this is not conspiracy theory. This is conspiracy fact. You have a such thing as factual evidence. I've shown documents, and this information was legit. And I was going to mention when she tried to say, oh, this stuff is a fraud, dealing with the IRS, the Treasury, discharges. Well, years ago when Barton Butts, many people don't know, I did a lot of reading when I first got in this movement. And I don't claim to be a sovereign citizen, none of that. Those are made up terms. That's an actual umbrella term. The State Department does not clarify. What's up, Spoon Forks? Big shout out to you. The State Department does not classified, no official classification as sovereign citizen. What I understand, there's 4 classifications. There's national, U.S. citizen, resident alien, or non-resident alien, or there may be 5, but there's no such classification as sovereign citizen. That's an umbrella term that was made up to steer people away from looking into this type of information to try to discredit people. But I'm telling you that it was legit, and you have to, like I said, it's not a one-size-fits-all. You have to study. I was listening to Yusuf El. He was on this call the other day. I won't, say the name, but, the individual I mentioned that did come back out. And just to give you guys a heads up, I did remove those videos out of respect for PTK. And I heard Yusuf mention about a lot of people should do reading, and I agree with Yusuf on that. And some things I don't agree with Yusuf on, I think, in my opinion, but I do agree with them that you have to do a lot of reading. It's not that some people are looking for a handout. It's some people who are sincerely trying to learn this information, but you have these gatekeepers like Virgo Triad and others out there that are trying to cop block and stop and prevent legitimate people from researching, learning this information, because they want to keep you programmed on a plantation. So most likely she's a feminist. She's probably a Hillary Clinton supporter. She wants to keep you on a Democratic slave plantation. She's also probably a government agent. This is what FBI agents, they profile people. They go over their archetype, because she's not trying to be a benefit to the movement ever since she got in, the people who are speaking about these TDA accounts. But I'm exposing Virgo Triad right now. This is real. And this is open forum discussion too, by the way. So if you guys want to have questions, I didn't know I was going to really get on this topic, but I've been meaning to get this off my chest and go over this woman who's hiding behind this fake name and won't reveal, and she's using so-called sovereign citizen tactics, being private, because it deals with the private sector. It actually deals with being a private citizen in a private capacity, and she don't show her face. She's not showing a real name. That's not credibility. That's not legitimacy. So I challenge whoever Virgo Triad is, show your real name, show your face, and stop running off at your mouth and doxing these people that you have no business. You don't know who they are, because you don't know, these people might come back on you. So just keep that in mind. The way that she's been exposing these people, you don't know these people from a can of paint or who they know. So if you all out there recognize who Virgo Triad is, or you recognize her voice, definitely document this, pass this information out. If you know what state she lives in, and you recognize who she is, document this with all these people. Use their weapons back against them. This is one of the things you can do, because she's definitely not trying to help people who are sincerely trying to pay people's bills off, who had these reversals. It was the Federal Reserve who's blocking these accounts, by the way. From my research that I've done and evidence, that code R34, it's just that definition they give, that it's a state within your state, whatever regulator is blocking it or whatever. It's going back to the Federal Reserve. The reason it's going through, it's being pinged, but because you don't have a certain status or whatever, that's why it's coming back. It's reversing. It doesn't mean that the TDAs weren't real or not legit. See, nobody else is really breaking this down the way that I'm breaking this down to you, spitting real true game. So I've been meaning to get this off my chest for a while, but Virgo Triad is definitely a shield. Someone else that I know mentioned, she's not trying to help. Watch out for trolls, agents like that, because their job is they want to keep you programmed. They want to keep you brainwashed so they can continue to make money. And she don't talk about all the fraud that's committed, that's been done with even the IRS going after innocent people, with Wells Fargo Bank using people's social security numbers. She's just focusing on April or June. It's like her bread and butter with a lot of the videos I noticed she's done. So those who try to say I'm being negative, no, she's being negative. She doesn't mention positivity, what she was trying to claim at first, that she was going to help people out, but yet she's turning around calling the Federal Reserve. It's these people trying to access their account or whatever. Shows you she doesn't have good intentions. She's a snake. She's trying to get people locked up, on purpose, when there was a legitimate way, but the powers that be at the very top, of course, I don't have that type of control, but they have access. I'm just kind of giving you guys a heads up. You guys have to delve deeper. This is not a one-size-fits-all. This type of information is not a silver bullet, but I can damn sure tell you it is legit. It is real, and you do have a ruling class elite at the top. or who some refer to as the globalists or the Illuminati. You know, they are the ruling class. Behind the scenes, they control, or would be known as the shadow government, and they control the deep state, by the way. So I just wanted to provide clarification on that, in my opinion, and also giving my subscribers, with this being an open forum, a heads up that I may down the road be shutting the YouTube channel down altogether out of respect, you know, from what I was part of in the past. I don't know about some other things that I am part of, if I'm going to have to sign confidentiality agreements, XYZ. There are those who do know me, who have reached out to me, and that's cool. I appreciate you. And I want to thank you, those who do continue to follow Dorsey's Resource. And with that being said, I'm going to get ready to shut things down, but I wanted to give you guys a quick update. Yeah, I did remove, and it was my #1 video with the Pastor Tony King seminar. It was, and I spoke to him the other day. So I wanted to say I deleted them all together. I didn't even set it to private or unlisted. You know, one of them I did my first live feed on, just to let you guys know, by the way. But this information, it dealt with the TDA accounts. I had documents and things to prove this is legitimate, you know. So I just wanted to give my way in and let you guys know proof that Virgo Triad is lying. She's a liar. I'm not saying some of the stuff that she's referring to isn't legitimate out there. It says I'm from Detroit, I'm a trucker and own a home. Okay, that's what's up, Spoon Forks. Okay, big shout out to you. Thank you for joining in the chat. That's what's up. You know, definitely appreciate you. And one last roll call before I shut it down. Once again, this was open forum discussion. Open forum means whatever's on your mind. If there's any questions you have, anything you guys would like me to address or whatever, I just wanted to let you guys know I'm still here, even though I hadn't did a video since October. This is my first video for November, but I want to kind of give you guys a heads up where it may be happening down the line. There's some things getting ready to take place. We got the midterm basically going to take place today, Tuesday. Know some of you guys, I'm not a registered voter. There's certain contracts I don't enter into, and that is a form of a contract, by the way. You already have the right to vote. For what I understand, a friend of mine, actually, I told him about this years ago, and he told me it actually happened. He submitted an affidavit vote, you know, without being registered. They said you can go down there and do an affidavit vote when I found out. But I went to the Department of Elections. I haven't been a registered voter since 2004. But I do say, if I was, I myself, just in my opinion, I would have voted for Trump, because I felt for the black community he was the lesser of two evils, and I still stick with that. The Democratic Party was the party that started the Ku Klux Klan. This is a historical fact. They were the party that was behind the Jim Crow laws. And there's some more information too, by the way. I recommend, there's a book, 2 books I just purchased not too long ago called The Secret Relationship Between Blacks and Jews, that a friend of mine who knows a Mason that I know as well, I believe he's Prince Hall, recommended that we refer to this book. That's all he would say. And it shows the names of the families. Some of them are descendants, are still alive today, benefiting off of the transatlantic slave trade. There was even Jewish members of the KKK, their bloodline, their lineage. You have to look up, learn about the last names. A lot of black people received these last names from plantation owners. Like my last name, Dorsey, is not an indigenous last name. That's the name of an Irishman. But you can obviously see I'm a black man. That's an Irish name. You know, that these are government, those are slave names. Yahoo even did an article where there was a slave that escaped the plantation. His last name was Anderson, and Colonial Anderson was the one who owned that plantation. That was the name of the slave, because they stripped us, those of us, our ancestors who had to go through slavery or whatnot. So it's important to study etymology behind where these names come from, so you're not being misled, giving false information. But I also want to say, as I was going over the reason why dealing with voting, I know some people are passionate about it. Make your voice heard. I'm not campaigning for nobody. I'm just saying, giving my opinion, I uphold the process of voting. I don't want to be attached to the negative consequences that come behind it, because it is attached to some contracts. I'm going to work on doing a video about that. It's an adhesion contract just like your driver's license, insurances that you have, bank accounts, and stuff like that. There's a difference between registration and recording. Recording is on the private side. Registration is on the public side. And the whole process is dealing with voting is public, by the way. And if you know about the presidents at the top, they determine, other than just your local and state elections, and most of them decide who, you know, is going to be the nominee or whatever. You know, when you have, look up what the delegates and super delegates are, both versions that the Democrats and Republicans have, and the Electoral College. Says a lot right there. So just giving my way in, my opinion. I want to thank you guys for joining me. I do appreciate you all who do continue to follow Dorsey's Resource. Until next time, you can follow me on Facebook at Dorsey's Resource. You can follow me on... Turn that down. You can follow me on Twitter at Dorsey's Resource. You can follow me, of course, on YouTube at Dorsey's Resource for the time being. But just to give you guys another heads up, I don't know how long necessarily I'll be on here. So I'll give you guys probably another heads up. But thank you guys for joining me. Until next time, don't forget to like, rate, comment, and subscribe. Peace.